We could all stand to be a little bit gayer, right? No, gay, happy, not gay, gay, as in homosexual. Not. I love musical theater gay. I'm so kidding. You know what? I've been told I need to cut it with the NPC jokes, but you know, I think I'm hilarious. Ha ha. But in all seriousness, there's a huge trap in the concept of pursuit of happiness that people don't really understand, and it screws people over and over, and I want to point out to you in this video what that is and what you can do about it. So, are you on board to a gayer life? If you're not yet, I would check out my blog post first on why you should attempt to be happier and why that is important. It literally holds the key to everything you want, people. I'm not kidding. But anyway, if you are on board, welcome, all right? Now I'm going to dispel a myth that people have that actually doesn't work. Here's the thing. Your happiness level is less dependent on the circumstances around you than the world would like to have you believe. And from a very young age, we're conditioned to believe that if we do things to change the conditions around us, then we will reach happiness. And I have to tell you, it's kind of a lie. Like I said, we're conditioned into this belief from a very, very young age. And a good example of this in action is the reality TV show Toddlers and Tiaras. Have you ever seen Toddlers and Tiaras? Toddlers and Tiaras is about like these 3, 4, 5-year-old girls who get entered into like Miss America for toddlers. Toddlers in Tiaras. It comes complete with a talent show, big hair, and bikinis. Bikinis. 3-year-olds in bikinis. Ponder that. Or, you know, don't. It's creepy. These little girls are entered into the pageant, and most of them really don't want to be there. But their parents say stuff to the girls like, all right, smile for the judges, Brooklyn, and win the bikini pageant. And if you win, then we will take you to McDonald's and buy you that Happy Meal. So smile, smile. Mommy didn't waste a tube of Vaseline on your teeth for nothing. So now here's the situation where, you know, if the girl wins, then she gets something that she might want. She's being bribed. And, you know, it's kind of a problem because now what is she being told? She's being told she must deny how she actually feels and line up with how the mother feels and go for a result that is completely out of her control. Because let's face it, some new girl from California could have moved to Kentucky where they are, and she could have already been a winner of like 18 pageants over there. So like the results are completely out of her control. And now she's being promised a reward for something that she has no control over. And she's 3 years old. And here's the other thing. So the girl could win the pageant and the parents could be like, you know what, Brooklyn, look, you've been putting on a little bit of weight. Instead of a Happy Meal, here is a bag of celery. And I'll take you to McDonald's next time when you win the next one. And now the girl is taught to chase the next thing. The next thing she must accomplish in order for her to be happy. The next thing she must get in order for her condition to change. It's basically the same thing like when you're young, you know, I mean, you've all had variations of this one way or another. Like you get dragged to a church and your mom's like, okay, you see your Uncle Edgar that came in that you find totally creepy? Go hug him. Go hug him and I'll give you a candy bar. Go hug him. The problem with our authority figures as a kid talking to us that way is that we carry on that self-talk into adulthood. So we make ourselves do things that we don't want to do for a promise of a happier ending on the other end. I mean, a classic example of this is what happened in my life in chapter 5 of my book, The Art of Being Yay. Okay, listen, after my ex-boyfriend passes away, I become so miserable that I start trying to focus on happiness. And my first line of attack was to try to fix the situations around me. So I would go to the gym, I would overwork, I would go on dates, which is ridiculous. My boyfriend just died. I just made myself do things that I didn't want to do because I felt like it would provide me something else later, and that improvement of situation would bring me more happiness. And I'm telling you, it completely failed. So I can tell you from personal experience that that approach doesn't really work. It's like I do things that make me feel like something's off, but I do them anyway because I'm trying to get a result, which ends up with me having drug overdoses and a narcissistic boyfriend and with a panic attack at a rural gas station in Washington State, all of which is documented in my book, The Art of Being Yay. Woohoo! The truth is, there is no later. There is no later. Like, you can make yourself do something to accomplish something to get something later, but it's such a trap. Because as soon as you get that thing, there's another thing. And as soon as you get that thing, there's another thing. So you must learn to manage your happiness levels from the inside out, not the outside in. And the more muscle you put into changing the outside, you'll just get that result, and then you'll have a next one that you need to go for. My claims are also backed by science, people. Okay, in the 70s, they did a research on happiness, studying paraplegics and lottery winners. So let's say you're at a happiness level 5, right? So people who win the lottery, for like a year, their happiness level does go up to like a 7 or an 8. But when asked to rate themselves on their happiness, they come right back down to a 5 again after 1 year. Same for the paraplegics. The paraplegics might start at a 5 and they might dip down to a 2 because, you know, they lost an arm. But then if you survey them a year later, their averages went back up to being a 5. So there's some other factor other than the good circumstances or the bad circumstances that happen outside of you that determine your happiness. I've linked the article below because people tend not to believe me because I laugh like SpongeBob SquarePants. But, you know, I know what I'm saying. Maybe I should put on a pair of glasses and take me more seriously. And I'm not saying you shouldn't go after what you want, okay? You want the hot girlfriend? Go get a hot girlfriend. You want the car? Go get the car. You want the job? Go get the job. But don't think that getting that job or getting that car or getting that girlfriend is going to raise your happiness level, because it ain't, is what I'm saying. After a little while, it's just gonna feel the same. It might bring you up for a minute, but you'll come right back down to where you are if you are not aware of your internal set point. If you are at a 5, and you get the girlfriend, you're just gonna end up being at a 5 with the girlfriend, end up being at a 5 with the car, or 5 with the new job, you know? And this is important to note, because if you are going after those things so that you can be happier, you're not going after those things for the right reasons, because scientifically, it doesn't work. The other problem with relying on external conditions for your own happiness is that things are completely out of your control. Has 2020 coronavirus taught you anything? Look, I'll talk about me. 2020 was supposed to be my year, okay? I have a political consulting business that I work with. I have a lot of side businesses, but I have one of those, and 2020 was gonna be a huge year for me, you know, doing during the presidential season, and the coronavirus shut everything down. So I'm not making any money doing that. This was supposed to be my year. If I was relying on that going right so that I could have money in my bank account so I could be happy, well, I'm screwed. And on some level, everybody's experiencing this. I've seen posts on Facebook, 2020 was the year that I was gonna get married in Milan. Sorry, pandemic, you know. Or, 2020 was gonna be the year that I make it in comedy. Sorry, no stages are open, so good luck with that. I actually have a friend who got a new set of, you know, implants. And and the reality is, those implants are only as great as they are to be appreciated. So if no one can get close enough to you within 6 feet to appreciate your new tatas, well, then you wasted your implants for right now, right? I mean, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear the noise, does it really make a sound? I mean, it's the same thing. Like, oh, great looking things, you know, nobody's there to appreciate you for it. They told me to stop being un-PC on these posts and be more serious, but I just can't. I think I'm too amusing. So what's the key? We gotta work the other way around. We gotta find ways to look within, to raise our internal thermostat of happiness from the inside out, not the outside in, okay? It's like, oh, you're hot, so you move to Alaska where it's cold out. No, there's an internal thermostat. You can turn up or down your internal thermostat and it'll give you more power, okay? As opposed to trying to control everything that happens around you. And you can't do it anyway. The pandemic, can't control it. The election, let's be honest, on some level we can control it, but you can support the candidates you want, but you can't really control what happened there. You know, I was supposed to launch this book on the first weekend of June, and then the Black Lives Matter movement happened, and of course it's kind of like, you know, tone deaf to release a book during that time, and so I held. Could I control that happening? No, I couldn't control any of it. You can't control any of it. What you can control is what happens here and what happens here. So you can adjust things inside of you to line up with your greatest joy. And like I said, your joy, your happiness brings you incredible advantages in getting everything you want. I'm telling you, check out that article, Why You Should Care About Being Happy. Here's the other thing. I absolutely know that it is possible to adjust your internal happiness set point. So be patient with yourself, learn about yourself, learn about emotional well-being, learn about how emotions work, learn about how your thoughts work and those impacts on your general happiness, and take it one step at a time. You're doing great. If you've made it this far in the video, you are doing great. Check out my video on reticular activating system and emotional momentum, and that'll give you an idea, a starting point for understanding your system. Dear God, don't make this into a chore. I have to be happy. Just take it easy. Take it easy. Have fun with it. It's fun. There's no emergency. Just take it one step at a time. And that's the whole point of this, okay? We're all growing. Take it easy. All right, so thank you for watching. And check out my book, The Art of Being Yay, if you want a reference point to why should I listen to you, Aidan? Yeah, go read my book. Okay, thanks a lot, guys, and have a good day. Bye.